everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I hope you all had a good one. Or a semi-good one.
This is my death year.
It's your death year.
Oh,
Yep.
It's
so
like
that's change, transformation.
Temperance.
Yeah.
Exactly. Getting married.
What was I going to say? Okay, the usual things that we go through. The piggies are on the table, so if you haven't done the, if you haven't put the £4 in the piggies, please do so, because otherwise I will end up forgetting. You probably noticed from the website, and as I posted a few meetups now coming up to March or April, that we are once a month at the moment. Reason being is because I know Heather has some family commitments, so she couldn't commit to. She's still booking the venue and helping me with that, but she couldn't commit to come all the time. And so I personally, I just can't. And I'd rather do something once a month and do it well than doing it, half-assed twice. But, however, I have plans. I would like to get some speakers. We're booked now until April with the two from Lucius as well. John is coming to do June, which will be interesting. So, and I'm looking to hopefully bring some speakers or some people here as well. So that is the plan. But by all means, if you have any suggestions, if you want to do a talk, if you anything, just message me, because it's nice that you participate in the meetup, but it's also nice to have other perspectives. If I do it all the time, you might like me, you might not, but it's always me kind of thing. So feel free to make suggestions. That's about it. The idea for today that I had this week was, we always do this, we always do the Wheel of the Year, Happy New Year, we'll see how the year ahead is going to be. But I was looking at the files up on the Meetup website, and we haven't really had that many recently. We have this, I always upload the talks if someone sends them to me. We haven't really had any practical ones for a while. So I thought, okay, I've got 20 people sign up, no matter how many turn up, because usually it's never like the exact amount. Why don't we discuss how we approach New Year's reading? What do we do? Because not necessarily everyone is doing the 12 one-card reading. And then if we all write it down in a communal sort of piece of paper or something, I can then PDF it and put it up as a help sheet for New Year's reading on the Meetup website.
Okay.
Hello?
Yay!
Silent
So, yeah, just to go through each and every one of us, what do you do when it comes to your New Year reading? And then collate the spreads, write them down. Unfortunately, I left my notepad on my bed, so that's not very helpful, but I'm sure someone here has got pen and paper. And then I can take them and put them into a document and then upload them so everyone can access it. And it'd be interesting to see what methods you guys use. If it's the same, I doubt it's going to be all the same, because I know I do something. Jane, for example, is another way. So if it's okay with you, I would go like one by one. Thank you.
There you go.
And then, excuse me, you have to excuse my voice, I'm not contagious, by the way. I've just been poorly for the last month.
That virus that got people over
I have no
Christmas.
idea, but
Yeah.
I've had no Christmas, no New Year's, and you, bless you. So, but I'm not, it's not flu or anything. So if we go like, say, one by one, and I start obviously with myself, how we do it, and then see what's interesting, but we can take, and maybe we can even combine some of the readings together. And then after that, if you guys want, and I'm sure you do, we can practice the readings. Yeah, exactly. So I start my usual yearly reading, which this year I did at Christmas because I was, as I said, I was unwell, so I thought, I might as well use the time constructively, and I'll do it then. My way is to do a 12 one-card reading, but what I usually do is I use one light deck. By light deck I mean a normal sort of Rider-Waite deck, and a dark deck. And then I ask, how will my year be? what I'm aware of with the light deck, and then a card per each month, and the shadow side of it, as in what I'm not aware of with the dark deck. So you've got 2 cards per month, one of what you're going to be aware in that particular month, and one of what you're not aware in that particular month. Hiya. And that kind of gives you a perspective, I think, at least it does to me, as to what to expect. Bearing in mind that my feeling is that one card readings for the 1 month tend to be very, very general. I mean, it's difficult to summarize a month in the one card, you know, it kind of gives you the trend, which is why I was interested also in what you guys do, because some people might do other types of spreads. But that, I don't take that for granted totally, I just take it as a trend of the year. For example, and then I draw a theme card. One card is the theme of the year, which for me, what I drew was the 4 of Swords, which did not make me very happy. Because it's not exactly what the plans that I had for this year. But then again, the 4 of Swords doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be inactive. It could be that you need to take a step back and examine before you do anything. I don't remember what Jane...
I said it might be reflecting how you're feeling at the moment. You're feeling unwell and you need to just...
And you pulled the 9 of Wands for me as well, which also reflects
the
that.
battered person. You just need to relax and you're feeling a bit, you know, because you've been ill for so long, feeling unwell for so long, it's just taking it out of you.
Yeah, that's absolutely possible.
Because sometimes the cards may be looking at, or pick up where you are now as opposed to where you're going.
Which is why I think, I'm not saying it's not reliable, but I'm saying it's just quite general to do just the one card for the month. But that's just, for me, that's just how I have been doing it. It's been a bit of a ritual every, you know, New Year's Eve or New Year's Day to do that for myself for the following year. And the shadow part of what I'm not aware of, I find it really helpful. Because I could have, for example, a month where I have, and I think I got this in this year, something like, I can't remember, it was sort of a semi-negative card, or like the 10 of Wands, for example, like where you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have a difficult month, but then the shadow card is the 9 of Cups. So you're thinking, hold on a minute, maybe I'm not quite seeing it how it is. Also, there is another one that we used to do with Jane, but we haven't got. I haven't got it. That's a 1 card per house, astrological houses, for the year ahead. So house 1 to 12, and that's me. I've already got that up, I think, on the website somewhere, but I'm happy to add it on. Who wants to go next? Shall we go like in order? Is that okay?
Yeah. I'm new. Could people just say their names and then I get
Yeah.
an idea of who's who?
I'm Anton.
Thank you. Sorry.
Anton. Excuse me.
We'll say our names as we go around. You're next, Jen.
Oh, me?
Yay.
Oh, God. Hello, I'm Jen.
Sorry.
Hello. I know lots of you, so that's good. Yay!
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, hello! So my t-shirt.
Smile, you're on candid
I'm gonna
I
do
love
a
that
quick-
t-shirt. I want one. It's a band.
It's
Dry the
a
River.
band, Dry the River.
Because I love them.
Oh, right, yeah.
But very, very good band.
Take it away from me and my red face because I'm absolutely hot.
Yeah, I went to the gig. I couldn't actually stay to hear the band, but they had the amazing t-shirts. And on the front of their album, they've got like a 3-card spread using the zombie tarot, which I was really
yeah.
impressed about. I was like,
I'm liking this band more by the minute.
yeah, awesome. What do I do?
No, hold on a minute, sorry. She
hold
asked
on.
if everyone can introduce themselves because she's new.
Oh, are we going to go all the way
Yeah,
around?
so just go the way. Is Jen?
Oh, Jane.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, just do our names.
Yes.
Okay.
Henry.
Ellie.
Thank you. Maria.
Kim.
Marcia.
Elaine.
Anna Constance.
Pauline.
Emily. Thank you.
We'll test you later.
Well,
There'll be a quiz.
That's cool.
you push the buttons of the.
I'll probably write you.
No, you just push the buttons.
Let's do that.
Okay, so what do I do for New Year? I tend to do my year spread on New Year's Eve with a glass or two of wine, like you do. I do more or less the same thing as Anton does, and I do one card per month for the year. And then I write it up in my diary on the first page of my diary so that I can kind of refer back to it throughout the year if I feel like I need to, for whatever reason. If I'm having a bit of a rubbish month and I see that actually it looks like it's going to get better, or I don't know. Last year I did, again, a similar thing to what you do with the light and dark deck, but I used a tarot deck and an oracle deck. Tarot and then an oracle on top of that. I didn't have an oracle deck with me this year because I'm living out a suitcase, but yeah, and with the theme for the year, I always take the card on the bottom of the pack because it's something that I picked up years and years and years ago. But if you think that you shuffle a deck and then you deal out the cards, even if you deal out all 78 cards, the last card is going to be the ultimate card that you get to at the end. So I kind of used the card on the bottom of the deck as the theme for the year, just because that kind of makes sense to me. And then I also get Jane to do me the astrological houses as well, to get a different perspective as well, because sometimes you read into stuff when you're reading for yourself. For example,
to be fairly honest, sorry to interrupt you, but
Sorry?
I always look at the bottom card, even when I do a normal reading.
Yeah.
Whatever,
It's-
even if it's just a 3-card or a card of the day, what's the bottom?
Mm.
I always tend
Yeah, so for example, for January this year, I got the Tower and the Five of Cups, which
Oh,
is...
yeah.
Hello. So my January in the cards looks a bit grim, but I think that's more to do with lots of things that are going on at the moment that I'm worried about, rather than a predictive... Well, I'm hoping it's not a predictive thing.
No,
We'll
I
find
think,
out in 2
yeah.
weeks. But, so yes. Shall I turn around
To Jane, yeah, we go around this table, then around that table, then this way.
Okay. Well, I do what these guys have already said. They like the 12 wheel of the year, sort of like the clock. It's January, February, March, April, 1 in the middle for theme. And then the house. The houses go the other way. They're anti-clockwise. You start at Aries, which is on a clock face would be 9 o'clock. It would be the 9. So you start, if you're doing a clock one, a house one, you start, which is you go Aries and you do the astrological signs and it goes anti-clockwise. And each house represents a different facet of your life. You know, one Aries represents you, yourself, how you come across. The next one, Taurus, is that what makes you feel secure. I can't remember. I haven't done this for so long. I've had a year off tarot as well, which probably hasn't helped. I needed the break, but I'm just a bit rusty. So I want to get back into doing that. I haven't done that yet this year, but I'd like to have a play with that because that's always. I find that's more effective than the clock one myself. The house one is nice. And what I've also done this year, actually, and I've really enjoyed, and I'm going to get into this more and more, is I've been playing around with something called Lenormand cards. A friend of mine's been teaching me them, the Grand Tableau. That is just, I mean, we had a little play, didn't we, over December, and that really does, it's just, I find it bigger than tarot, easier, actually, it's
You would, because
easier.
you're a Virgo.
And it's left brain. You can read it very left brain. There's nothing ambiguous about the cards. You just say, they've all got a meaning, you just piece it together into a story. So it's actually, in some ways, they're easier to read. You read all 36 of them if you do a Grand Tableau. You don't have just a spread of 11 or 12. You read the lot and you look at pathways through them and linkages with them. But I've been having to play with that, and that's been, so I'm working on that this year. But that's been very revealing. So it's been nice. So it's me.
Me? What else?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Or Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
All right, hi, I'm Elizabeth, friends call me Ellie. So not much different to what they've mentioned already. I find that one card for each month is too broad. So I think that may be best for something specific like your career for the year, or your romance for the year, because then it can look at the ups and downs for something specific like that, perhaps. I like to do the astrological wheel of the year. I think it touches on all the different aspects of your life, from your relationships to your health and all sorts of stuff. And one thing that I also am forming a tradition with is actually around Christmas, because that's the winter solstice and that's the time to withdraw within in the cold weather and be reflective. So what I do is I take out the major arcana and I pick one card to reflect upon during the Yule time. And I don't think it's necessarily that way, but it can be reflective of what's to come in the year and what themes you may want to reflect on. So that's something that I do on Christmas. Yeah.
Okay, so my turn. I strictly speaking don't do anything for New Year, but I do something for my birthday usually, which I kind of a personal New Year. As has been said before, one card for one position is too limiting. So I usually do massive readings involving the whole of the deck, basically 78 card spreads. What I actually do, rather than have like one big reading, I have like a month-long contemplation. So I break whatever spread you use down into little chunks, and then I'll take 5-10 minutes every day for that month contemplating on that aspect. And so when your year kind of plays out, you have your whole spread basically memorized, internalized in you, so when stuff happens, you kind of know, oh, that's what it's relating to, and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's something I've done in the past.
What spread is? Do you have?
I used the, the.
Yeah, but do you have a? Is it a particular spread, or is it something you made up, or?
It's no. I use the. I don't know if the opening of the key.
Oh, you do the opening of the key. I was thinking when you said 78. I'm thinking of the opening of the key.
But that's like a whole nother meetup.
Yeah, we would need. Actually, it'd be nice to do a meet up on that one.
Yeah, it would be actually.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that.
Okay, so anyway, that's my spiel. Who's next?
That table
That
there.
table
Kim
there.
or Maria, whoever wants to go first.
Could do me very briefly. Okay, I'll turn around. For me, prior to coming to the group, I would have probably just done a Celtic cross spread to take me into the new year. But if I come to one of the meetups, I'll just do the wheel of the year. And I haven't developed it much more than that. So, yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, very good.
Actually, a lady, a guest, tarot reader, at a party did the astrological wheel for me, and it was Maria was there, if you remember, and Marcia. It was. I was quite chuffed with that, so I'm not going to do anything for myself. I got some of my favourite cards. So I'll stick with that. I'm going to tempt fortune.
Very nice. Very nice.
I do the astrological year, and I take a theme card, which is going to be the main thing in the year, and that's it, and I get a very good idea what is going to be happening house by house. And I have already done it. I do it usually on New Year's Eve, and I take a picture of it. So I'm not going to do any more because I love the cards as well. So I don't want anything changed. Okay.
It seems to be so far your favourite. And also, we don't forget you at the back. Come forward, ladies.
Should I sit over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I just say? Yeah. Okay, I normally do on New Year's Eve, and I do a very basic 12-card spread. But because of this class today, I haven't done anything, so I'm just waiting. So I'm waiting to do something to see what's going to happen in my year. I do also take a picture of it. I do print it out, and I tend to keep it sort of in places that I see all the time. So they'll be in my bedroom or behind the living room door, or sometimes even just on the front door. So when I'm going out, especially if it's a good month, I always just tell myself, right, this is something that I'm striving to, or something like that. And that's all I do.
No, I don't want to. You don't want to say anything? All right. Okay. Well, I don't want to say really because I came along with Marcia today because we've been to a poetry group. I haven't read tarot for, I can't remember, a very, 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 very long time. This pack was actually given to me by a friend in Australia probably over 30 years ago.
Wow.
And I only ever play with the higher arcana. I've been reading the runes recently more than the cards. But for somehow I found myself here today, which I'm taking as an omen that it's time to get back into.
Which deck was it?
Yeah, what do you call that
I
then?
don't know.
Yeah. Which deck is it?
I don't know.
Oh, that's an Marseille.
Marseille.
Marseille. Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause sometimes ones that old are like very valuable
I went there.
because they're out of print. Yeah.
Is that valuable?
Don't know. I don't know.
Why not?
That's what they are. That's why I asked.
Yeah, so I found my way. I was led here today.
Fabulous.
We'll see what happens.
Did you do anything for yourself in terms of New Year readings?
No, I did with the runes.
With the rooms?
Yeah. Basically, I'm trying to find. I'm stuck at the moment with some very, very old stuff, and I don't want it anymore. So I'm trying to find a way to help me deal with it.
Okay, that's fine.
There we are. Is anybody who's next?
Sorry, this
Elaine.
Elaine.
Elaine. Yeah.
Elaine.
Who?
I don't want to be on camera. I don't mind speaking, but I just don't want to be
That's fine. Yeah.
filmed. I think to do 13 cards can be quite nice, reflecting the lunar months, and also to start from the solstice, the coming of the light. So to reflect what's coming into consciousness. So to do the lunar months.
So I was wondering.
I think you mostly pick 13 anyway, if you're doing 12 and a card to represent the
yeah.
year, but obviously you're not. How you divide it temporally, month to month, I mean, really, it's just breaking down the time to a different
One thing
degree.
that comes to mind is that I was having a discussion the other day, and what you just said made me remember it. And also Henry said you do it from your birthday. We were talking about what card of the year you have, you know. So, for example, mine this year for me is Temperance. And then someone sort of, not scolded me, but said to me, well, you know, if your birthday is in March, then you should start from March. You shouldn't really start from January because that's the calendar. But in effect, you know, effectively, that's when you should start. But I do it by calendar, and I'm thinking, is there a difference?
I think if you know consciously where you're starting, that's what
Yeah.
matters. So you know you're starting in January. That's what your intention is.
Could chuck in your Chinese New Year there as well. I mean, you could start from all sorts of.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Yeah,
Chinese New Year.
Then you'd have to read the I Ching.
Yeah, why not do that? A lot of people seem to think that you should start with your solar return, i.e. your birthday. But yeah, yeah. Interesting. Pauline?
Hi. I'm Pauline. I used to do tarot. I've been out of it for a couple of years, and lots of things been happening, so I thought I'll return it. I've been doing more meditation work and tantra. So what I do the wheel, the 12 cards, and yes, it is really brief, but I kind of like it because it just gets in boom straight to the point. I have one question in mind, and certain cards will flag up, and then if I want a question, then I do a Celtic cross, or I just open maybe sometimes 3 cards to look at that specific month. But it gives me a good overview. So I might have one specific question, or I do a second wheel for my second question, and I do take a picture of it as well.
Cool.
I don't mind telling you. The tradition that the group of people I used to do tarot with in Canada, generally use tarot more as reflective than looking forward. So for instance, I wasn't there for it. Obviously, I'm not in Canada. They did this New Year's. They took the Tower card and wrote everything that they just wanted to let go of, to just new whatever. Wrote it all out and burnt it. Unfortunately, then their house, in an unrelated event, burnt down. So that's the sort of thing that we've generally done. So my life is also very, a year is a long time. I can't ever look at a year and be like, okay, yeah, I think I'll know where I'll be next year. So I don't ever do full year. It's more of just like, what do I need to know right now?
Fair enough. I find that as well, actually. I'm not a long time planner, but it just helps to know because it's always changeable. So.
We've done, so the group that I was with, we did tarot tableaus, which start with your astral sign, 2 of your astral signs, and then you do math with tarot, end up with a problem card and a solution card and a third card that will help you kind of muddle through things. And so I always come back to that and then go from there. So my problem card is the tarot, the tower.
Yes, I just got that myself, actually, so there you go.
So my life is eternally exploding and coming back to something, so I don't try and map out a year.
Cool. So Arthur, if we can turn the camera.
Okay, I do a yearly one card a month, and if I want anything clarifying or whatever, I do a couple of cards to see, make it clearer for the one card, because it's too broad, as you say. So that's what I do.
It's very general. Not,
Too general, yeah. So I do 2 or 3 card readings just to see what else I need to know or whatever.
Do you guys think it would help if you do the general wheel to actually not use a card but use 3 per month? Or 2 even?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that gives you a 3 card reading then if you add 2 to it.
Well, there's no limit really.
Yeah, there's no limit. It just
Depends how much time you have and how much you want to look into it.
Yeah.
So, like for example, me, I think I do the wheel, and then if 2 cards really pop out, or certain things, I have some really strong charge, and then I look at those 2 cards and open 3 specifically for the things popping up.
I'll give you an example. For example, I did my wheel, and although it didn't look bad as a year altogether, as a general, very broad picture, the 4 of Swords team threw me a bit. But as Jane said, it could have been picking up on the fact that I've been unwell. But then you done it yourself, right? And then I have someone else, namely Jane, do one for me. I don't want to do too many, but say, well, let's see the perspective and see if some of the same cards come along. Again, not a bad year at all, wasn't it? But completely and utterly different. I mean, I think we pulled most of the core cards. The first 3/4 of the years was based on court cards, and we were like,
I did wonder about that actually.
Yeah.
So when you're doing it for a month, you said the month of May.
Yeah, exactly.
And so your month of May is the Queen of Swords, and you just think, whereas if you've got like a major arcana or a pip there, you can like do something with it in terms of a monthly event. But you've got the Queen of Swords, great, or even where it's a page. What do you do with that?
Because at the end of it, this is what I'm asking is like, how do you differentiate? In the cards that you get, and as Emily, Emily said, it's very general and very forward too far. So if you're looking at core cards for the last part of the years, you're already like quite ahead on the year. Whereas mine, where I did check it when I got on, hardly any, couple of core cards. But so, do you think there is a difference when you do the wheel for yourself compared to when someone else is doing it for you, or do you think it's just the cards that are reflecting that particular moment?
There are different aspects because other people can read it differently, and even though you have one card, theory would say X, and then one person would say Y, and then we might interpret as Z, because the other person might be intuitive. We tune into it differently from a psychic perspective. And depends how much personal development that person has done, then they can channel the energy and be in touch with the card, with the cup subconscious more profoundly.
I think that's very true. From even though, how am I saying this, I haven't played them for years. I actually had limited knowledge of the technical aspect of tarot. Does that make sense? I mainly read intuitively, so I had a general concept underpinning. And I found that just as accurate as some of the people who purely read from interpreting the card. Why am I talking when I haven't played tarot for 20 years? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I related to what you were saying, Pauline.
It's the
See,
whole.
I remember the name.
It's the whole purpose of this meetup
Exactly.
and others is to get, it's not just to have someone, which I was saying at the beginning, it's not just to have someone, it's not a school. It's not just to have me telling you what to do, it's to get you to learn from each other as well. So it doesn't matter if you haven't done it for 20 years. I took a sabbatical for many years. For a while because I was having personal issues, and then I came back to it pretty much when I joined this group.
Actually, that's a sort of a fit, because every now and then, when I'm feeling a bit stuck like I'm at the minute, I do sometimes take the major arcana, and I actually just take 3 cards, and I use that as a bit of a guide to whatever it is that I'm trying to get in touch with at that time.
And you always that's actually the deck you use. That's the one.
Until we need one.
And
Mike, he's not letting me get off the.
You're not getting away with it. Sorry.
What is your
camera on?
I'm happy enough about that.
Okay. It's time to record your voice. Now to record your voice.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm Mike. I'm reasonably regular here, I think. So I think most people know me. I haven't done my own tarot reading for the year this year because I knew I'd be coming here. And I do actually faintly remember doing a tarot reading of the year this time last year, and I think the way the cards fell out was that it was telling me that it would be a year very much like the one before, a sort of groundhog year, if you like, with very little change, and it seems to have been. That seems to have played out. It wasn't a year for making any sudden or sudden moves of any kind. So yeah, I'm interested to find out if this year will be different and what the cards have in store and what the year has in store. And
did you look to make changes this year?
Oh well, no, because the card said don't bother.
No, but besides that, were you looking? If you were thinking of the card.
Well, yeah. Well, I knew that they shouldn't be abrupt ones anyway, or dramatic. Yeah. I mean, change will occur, whatever happens. Everything is sort of dynamic. But I, didn't plan anything radical, and therefore didn't do anything radical.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How many people have worked out what their year card is for this year? Oh, then that can be worth doing. There's different ways of doing it. Does everyone do like their date, month, birth, and then 2015?
Well, it's 2015 obviously because
and then this year.
So the way you calculate your yearly card is by adding up the numbers of the date of your birthday with 2015.
Your month and day.
2015 is 8, so let's simplify it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's right. So your birthday plus the year, which would be this year, if it's over 22, then you reduce it down.
And then that tells you what your major arcana card is.
And that is the theme of the year.
Theme of the year.
Not from the perspective that you just drawn a theme of the year card, but that's your particular journey.
That's a numerology.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
numerology.
yes.
Yes.
So, for example, I'm temperance this year.
Me
Last year
too.
was death.
Less wine, Anton. Drink less wine.
Temperance. Well, it's one cup.
That's mine as well.
A cup for in each hand.
Yeah.
Cocktails.
Brilliant.
No, but this is 2015.
Yeah, so it's your.
So what's
baby.
yours? I've got the tower.
She's
Oh, right, okay, well,
Flipping joy.
well, I've got that one to come in 2 years. 2 years.
I had Hangman last year. It was great. Lots of travelling.
It's
What, Hangman?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, I got the devil last year, obviously. So, next year will be good. Start.
Always parallel the card for the year, so I'm double eight. So
16.
No. I mean, well, either the strength card or the justice card.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, to check which deck you use.
Yeah, so I'm an 8 for my personal number as well as.
I'm temperance, I don't see.
No,
And then I get the
the
four
chariot.
swords as a few.
Double the chariot energy, you're double the. I think it's a strength card there. I understand
It's
that.
got to be what you feel it, which deck you prefer to go with. Yeah.
Justice would make sense because that could link to
You get married.
partnerships and legal
Marriage, yeah.
Legal.
Then you're using 2, 3 plus 2, 5.
Did it feel like a hangman for you though? No, it felt like a hangman year for me.
I transferred my karma to her.
Yeah, thank you.
So what's 9? I've been out Hermit's 9, Stone.
Oh,
Wheel of Fortune. And then 11 is
Justice or
strength.
Yeah.
11 and 12.
But then you go
Right, yeah, so I got married and say justice or strength depending on which deck. 11. Mine was 11, it would have been justice.
Okay.
Or strength, depending on which, number 11, yeah, I think so.
But when I did my Christmas major arcana draw, I pulled the justice card.
Well, there you go. That's got everyone working, isn't it? So, just a question.
Right, I think this is, looks like it's done. So.
Oh, yes,